page, was it done specifically say business or working?
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Madison and Township, just go over and have the map, people make a
Yeah.
registered map. So I wonder if there's any size. I don't see any specific size.
No.
Okay, I'll see what they're.
just to say I have a little accident out there, so I apologize.
That's fine with me. No problem.
Of course not.
I haven't seen it, but I've seen a 2-week window. Maybe that's what I was thinking, 10 working days.
The 2 weeks is what we have posted to the recorder.
So far, I haven't seen it. So,
on to any, are all the festivals and stuff done, Alec? Are all the festivals and stuff done? Oh no, we got all the Christmas. How about Thanksgiving, all that stuff coming up?
Okay, I told him this township back.
Hearing's gonna be in the next room, right?
Yeah.
You're all right? How are you this morning?
Okay.
Okay, we are here this morning for the final hearing in the matter of the Lowe Single County Ditch number 1133, this petition by Lowe Sand. And we'll start off first with presentations by the county engineer of their final cost estimates, whatnot. So I'll turn it over to you, Trent.
Yeah, I'm Trent Bass, I'm the assistant Hardin County engineer. We have Luke Larrabee from our office, he's our ditch maintenance supervisor, and Luke Underwood, the county engineer, sitting there. So to kind of recap how we got to where we are, this was petitioned by Doyle Sands there last year. The petition was to maintain an open ditch that he had paid privately to be cleaned, brush removed, reshaped with his own money, and then petitioned for maintenance only. The watershed is 3,910 acres. There's 113 landowners with 215 total parcels, and the length of the petition is 1,964 feet. So going back to last year, right about a year ago, we had the viewing on site. That was November 7th of last year. We discussed obviously where the location was, what's been petitioned, and the steps moving forward after that. At that time, we had already had a preliminary hearing scheduled. That was December 14th of last year, where we presented a preliminary estimate and an estimated value, which the estimated value we used to collect maintenance assessments and the steps after that. Just as a reminder for everybody, our preliminary estimate was $15,745.75. The commissioners at the preliminary hearing approved the project, so we went forth with surveying and plan preparation, figuring assessments. We had to submit to the ODNR our plans and get approval from them, and we scheduled this final hearing. So everybody should have got a notice in the mail. I assume that's why everybody's here. So that gets us to this point. So everybody should have a report. Does everybody have a report with them, our final report? If so, I'll go through that. And we'll start on the second sheet there. We'll talk about our work items. So the ditch overall was in good shape. There was some things we wanted to address prior to taking it on maintenance to get it up to our standard. There was a little bit of erosion that needs addressed, so we'll go down through our line items here. So item number 1, excavation and leveling. That would be bottom dipping and sloping of the ditch to get the slope softened up so we can hold the slope there with vegetation. That was 900 cubic yards at $5 a cubic yard for $4,500. Furnish and install riprap, 198 tons at $15 a ton for $2,970. Install rack guards on the outlet pipe into the open ditch. 11 of those at $40 each for $440. And seed, fertilize, and straw mulch on the slopes and the filter strips, the 15-foot filter strips as well. 1 acre at $3,300 for $3,300, bringing the total of our estimated work to $11,210. So that takes care of the top there. The bottom is the estimated value of the ditch. We have to do that because that's how the maintenance assessments are collected. Ohio Revised Code allows us to keep 20% of that total cost in the maintenance fund at any one time. Typically, we're not even close to that, but that's why we have to have this estimated value. I won't go through line by line, but what we landed on there for the estimated value of the ditch, $58,750. To go further, I guess, the estimated value is what we estimate it would cost to dig that ditch brand new today. So that's how that number is derived. Going back to the front, there's additional things that we collect too as part of the petition. Advertising, $325. Mailing notices, $254.25. Recording fees of $84. Inspection of $1,000, and we also collect first year's maintenance. This was 4% of the estimated value, $2,350, bringing the total to $15,223.25. Again, that's approximately $500 cheaper than we were in the preliminary, just to bring that back up. So, any questions on the report itself?
Yeah.
Sure.
Where does that $15,000 figure into your total estimated value? I don't see it listed there separately.
The $15,000 are the line above that, first year's maintenance, the 4% value. That's 4% of $58,750 is $2,350. If that's your question.
I'm just looking at it and it doesn't look like the numbers add up. is what I'm saying.
The estimated value would be just the value to be fully reconstructed today. It doesn't show up in the front anywhere.
Okay.
Except for 4%, that 4% line item is 4% of that estimated value.
Seems to me that numbers on the add together somewhere, but, okay.
Yeah, the 58,000 is just the value. It's not included in the.
Yeah, you're not going to be assessed for that $58,000 in full. If that makes sense. We take a percentage of that $58,000 and apply it to the collection for construction.
Yes.
Does that answer your question?
Maybe.
Okay. Okay. So we talked about the maintenance percentage, how that's handled. Everybody got notices with their estimate. How does that word that exactly? Estimated assessment, that'd be the second from the right column, if everybody has those with them. That is what's gonna be collected this time for the construction. That's a one-time collection, for this initial construction. The most right-hand column on you guys' notices, is the estimated maintenance. If we collected 4%, we had a small typo, it's 3%, should have been 4%, but that is what will be collected yearly for that parcel. Any questions on that?
So for the first year, we'll have the three, whatever's in the estimated assessment,
Mhm.
plus the other
No.
on your tax
Nope.
statement?
Nope, this initial for construction is just the column that is estimated assessment.
And then for the rest of my life, I can expect the other one on my taxes. Is
Yes,
that correct?
if this is approved today, yes.
It doesn't
Or
really
it'll
say.
be a little bit lower, a little bit higher. We set the rates for each maintenance fund about this time of year, every year. We have 200 and some odd ditches that we do that for, so,
Okay, and it does say in the paperwork we received before that you have, it could be assessed up to 20%.
yeah, we can keep
So you
one,
can change it from year to year? what
yes,
we're gonna pay?
based on the work that we project, yes. The Ohio Revised Code only lets us keep 20% of that estimated value in the fund at any one time. So the odds that we collect 20% in one go are basically zero. Typically, we're between 3 and 5%.
So if something happens to Doyle and Sharon and that property sells, you should still
Yeah.
do that forever.
Yes, yep.
Even if the next person that owns it doesn't want this done on their property?
Correct. They can petition to vacate, but that is correct. Ultimately, if they no longer
They have no
retain.
choice, it would be
Correct.
done
Yep.
regardless of their ownership of the property.
They can petition to have it vacated.
Yeah, if they don't, if it sells and they don't want maintenance on that, they can petition to vacate. The proceedings would be,
But we'll still be stuck paying.
No, not
If
if
it's-
it's vacated.
if it's vacated, no. If it's vacated, go away. Yep,
Okay.
yep. Okay. Okay, so the estimated assessment column, we do in Hardin County what we call a varied rate assessment based on proximity to the ditch. Up here we have what we call our target map. Kind of looks like a bullseye. I encourage anybody that's interested to come take a peek. Ultimately, the closer parcels are to the actual improvement, so Doyle's property, pay a higher rate per acre than the people on the outer limits of the watershed. If we have mine, Tim, I'll just help scrap it off of there. Just for example, Doyle and Sharon are $15.27 per acre. And I'll just pick one up here on the border of the watershed, 38 cents per acre. So ultimately, the closer you are to the improvement, the higher rate per acre that we've put on that notice of assessment. Yep. Does that make sense? Any questions on that?
Yeah, on that. And everybody in this, falls into the watershed,
Yes.
even if your water goes the other way.
By our watershed lines,
This
this is what we show is in the watershed.
I'm number 98 here on the south side, and I'm not, but I work on the tile, all my water goes to the south.
Which parcel number are you saying?
98.
98, okay. So you're saying you're ditched out of the watershed?
Yeah, we're.
Your tile leaves the other way?
Yeah, it leaves the other way.
Okay.
I just,
Yeah, if we were notified of that, we could have adjusted the assessments. We do a 1/3, 2/3 assessment if there's evidence and a tile map showing that you're ditched out. Of course, we can't just take everybody's word for it. We need a tile map to prove that. Do you have a tile map that
I
shows that?
don't,
Okay.
for certain, but I know that I worked on the tile goes under 210, right at the border of my property.
Okay.
And, I worked on that 15-inch tile on the south end,
Okay. And the water's flowing south?
yes.
Okay. Okay.
Which, you know,
Yeah.
if you say negative.
Well, yeah, I don't have any way to refute that. But historically speaking, if we are presented a tile map, we have adjusted the rate
Sure.
to account for tile that's going the opposite direction. That happens fairly frequently, so. I don't know if we could, what could we do there if we were presented a tile map now, Luke, anything?
Yeah, we can look at that.
Okay. If you have a tile map, we'd look at it and we could maybe punt, I guess, so.
Sure.
You said 98?
98.
Okay, any other questions on that?
I have a question. Did you say you have an amount that you would assess today? Or I mean, like, on the approval of this project for each property?
Yes, yep.
Do I not?
We have the assessment schedule up here, we can give a copy of
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yep, yep,
Cause I was like, I'm not following.
Sure,
the
yep.
action. Okay.
yep.
And then does that also have, so it would have what the upfront cost would be, and then what would be assessed on the taxes?
This one only has the upfront cost, but we have another table that we didn't print out that shows the maintenance assessment.
For-
Yep.
Okay, I'd like to get that too.
I should point out that a lot of counties do a straight rate per acre for the entire watershed, meaning that if you're on the outer limits of the watershed, you would pay the same rate as, say, in this instance, Doyle would pay. We think it's a fair way of assessing, and the Ohio Revised Code gives the county engineer discretion to assess as he sees fit, of course approved by the commissioners. So, go ahead.
I have a couple questions, and I don't know if it's fitting to ask you or who it is to ask, okay? But I wanna know where the actual value ends up, who can profit off of the value of that ditch? For example, could the Samses, after this is done, sell the property and recoup our $60,000 in their pocket? Is that a possibility?
Where are you getting $60,000?
Of the value of the ditch. That they could claim that, hey, this ditch is worth $60,000.
Well, what we're only gonna collect is that 15,000.
I'm asking if they can profit off of the sale of what we're paying to help maintain or do or whatever you wanna call it. Can they profit off of that transaction?
Yeah, I think that's,
I mean, I don't, anyone, there's not a right answer to that question, but if you got any questions related to the report that we presented, now's the time to ask those. Once we're done presenting our information, then we'll open up for the commissioners to answer.
Well, somebody has to know the answer to that, and also whether or not they can claim this on their income taxes as a deduction. We can't, because it's not on our land.
yeah, that sounds like a CBA question, I don't know.
Well, but it should be considered when you're taking people's money and giving it over here. It needs to be looked at. It's important.
Sure.
You know, if they could make money off of us twice, then wow, good for them, huh?
Are you saying we're making money off of you?
You could be, yes. Yeah. If we're paying for the ditch, helping to pay for the maintenance on the ditch.
Well, let's finish the
Yeah.
engineer's presentation.
Okay, so we present all information, so the commissioners now have to make their decision based on a few provisions in the Ohio Revised Code, which they're well aware of. And outside of that, I think I'll present all the information, assessments, report. Did I miss anything, Luke? Okay. Okay, I turn it back over to you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Those conditions or things that we have to look at when we consider a ditch maintenance project is, does the benefit exceed the estimated cost of the ditch? Is the improvement necessary? And would the improvement be conducive to the public welfare? Those are three things we consider when we make a decision. So what we have now is a time for all of you to ask your questions or make comments. We do ask that you limit your time to 3 minutes, so that everyone has an opportunity to speak that wants to speak. And I'm going to start off, I was given, I assume this is a letter that they want read.
Yes.
This is someone who's not able to be here today. Been our practice in the past to read letters. This letter is from George and Victoria Collins. Although we are not able to attend the November 14th meeting, we would like to express our continued opposition to the above-named ditch project. There was a concern brought up at the last meeting that the proposed ditch project will not solve the problem because the culvert on Township Road 199 is not big enough. Did you check this out before sending out your estimates? Did you consider the other concerns regarding the health hazards of spraying and getting both an estimate for the manual cost and the cost of spraying? You had promised to get those figures to us. Did you take into consideration the concerns of the surrounding organic farms that could possibly lose their organic status due to the spraying? I guess our question would be, if Doyle and Sharon had the ditch cleaned at this time, what is the urgency in deciding and doing this now? Several people expressed concern over the financial impact this would be on others. You might wonder why some of us who have just a few acres would care about that. Well, in case you haven't noticed, the economy has taken a toll on us with fixed income in the past 3.5 years. Last but not least, we don't see how this would affect our property from being uphill from said project. And again, signed George and Victoria Collins. To answer a couple of their questions, Trent or Luke, the cost estimates for manual removal of brush and weeds as opposed to spraying, do you have any of those estimates?
This first estimate here is for construction only. We don't figure anything maintenance wise for this petition side of it. We know, what are we paying for a spray a mile?
Spray is $825 a mile for the easement in both banks.
What about mowing?
Mowing, contractor we're currently using is about $95 an acre to mow, and mechanical chopping of full-size brush runs, of course it varies, we always get quotes when we need that done, but you're looking at $125, $150 an hour.
Okay, let's see. And are you able to not spray the area of the organic farm? Meet their requirement?
Yeah, none of the petition area is organic.
Okay.
But it butts up against my organic farm.
And chemical spread through the soil, air, and water to everybody else anyway. It's a hazard, it's a public welfare hazard, actually, if you want to really admit the truth of it.
Okay. I think we have
Did he say forward on 199?
119.
Or 119?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we maintain the culverts, it doesn't cost the ditch any money for us to replace culverts, so it's really got nothing to do with the petition. I'm not aware of any flooding due to that culvert, but like I said, if it's under 24 inches, the township maintains it, if it's over 24 inches, we maintain it, it doesn't cost the watershed any money, so if there's an issue there, then we can look at that and resolve that. It's really got nothing to do with the petition.
You don't anticipate an increased flow based on the maintenance because it's already been cleaned? So the flow is what it will be?
Yeah. Yeah, but, I mean, this is maintenance only, this is
Yeah.
the majority of what's been done.
Okay, now I'll ask if there's any comments from the audience. Once again, limited to 3 minutes and one comment per person, please. So
Can I ask a question as regard to the letter?
that'd be part of the public comment. Go ahead.
Where does the spraying come in? Is that they don't spray now, and then you guys, as part of your maintenance, do spray as standard practice? I didn't know where the spraying part came in.
I don't know if the landowner sprays currently, that is our standard maintenance practice. We don't spray the whole ditch, we spray just the brush that grow or is small with approved product chemicals, but, and I would say we could look at different options since we do have one going right beside it. I'm sure every farm goes sprays it to the field, so, a spray, some brush in the ditch is different, but we can look at it because I respect the fact that they are organic. But yeah, typically, like I said, no spray the whole thing, we spray brush to keep the brush from growing.
Okay, anyone else? Comments?
Well,
Yes.
I just want to say that, I think everybody in this room could agree on one thing, and that is that a person who earns a paycheck wants and feels they deserve to have the control over the use of their paycheck. And you're taking away money from people against their will, which to me is the same as stealing. And I don't think it's right. And it hurts people. People are in a financial mess right now ever since COVID and all the repercussions of that. You know, the number one election issue is, money. And, everybody's worried about the cost of living, and there's all kinds of things facing us besides this being added on to our taxes. And I don't think it's fair to the other property owners. And I think if they really want to do this project, if they've done what they've done so far, maintenance should be up to them, they can handle it. They are as well off as anybody on this list of people, maybe way more so. And it's on their property, they're the ones that truly benefit from it. No one else had a problem before this was raised up here. No one else was complaining of problems on these other 100 and some properties, almost 200 properties, I think he said in the corrected version. 115 parcels, I think he said. And, you know, it's not fair to make us pay for something that they could well afford. And maybe these other people cannot, you know? We wanna encourage people in Hardin County to work, and you guys are unfortunately doing a lot of things that are not encouraging people to work, because it'd be a lot easier to stay on the welfare line than pay everybody else's stuff. So, I want you to consider that. And again, about the toxic chemicals, it's a big, big problem, and I'm against spraying anywhere, alone where it's gonna affect all of us in the neighborhood. I also question the fact that I know you guys have worked in the courthouse, and Sharon's worked in the courthouse for 30-some years. You have a close relationship with her. I worry about a fair decision here that's impartial. I'm wondering if 1, 2, or 3 of you could have excused yourself from this due to the fact that you've been closely related and working with these.
I've never worked with any of these gentlemen. I've never worked with them.
Sharon,
I'm
we'll
sorry.
let her have her time.
I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. Well, being in the courthouse and, you end up using things from their office and, I'm not saying that you worked under your leadership. I'm saying that you're interacting and you're not interacting with the other 100 and some people on the list. It's harder for you to be impartial. Online this, I don't think we should be paying for this.
Well, in response to your inference that we would not be impartial,
Well,
we have not worked in the same building with Sharon. None of the 3 of us have. And in a county of this size, there are personal relationships involved with every transaction. And we treat them all the same. And I don't appreciate the inference that we would be partial to someone.
I'm not trying to be rude, I'm trying to be realistic, okay?
Anyone else have comments? Yes.
I just wanted to say that, and one of the things that you guys said you have to look at to approve this or disapprove this, that the cost of the improvement would be equal or greater than the benefit that will be derived from the ditch. I don't see where I'm gonna benefit. It's not like my land value is going to go up, it's not. There's no flooding there, I don't feel it's necessary. I understand he's just wanting to maintain what he already has done, but it's not really a benefit to me. And I think that's one of the things that you guys mentioned that you have to review in the Ohio Revised Code. Is this really gonna benefit us?
Well, in response to that, the ditch is open now. If there's no maintenance done on it, it will eventually close, and then everyone in the watershed will experience a decreased drainage. So
And aren't the rest of us
it
all
will-
responsible for our own land and ditch?
if you don't have a good outlet, it doesn't matter what you do upstream. If the water can't go somewhere, it's going to stay where it's at. That's the purpose of ditch improvements and ditch maintenance. That's why we put ditches on maintenance, is to keep them operating properly. This ditch is operating properly now.
Right.
But
it's a
if
small
Mr.
section
Sands
of
would
that
sell
ditch.
his property and the new property owner says, I'm not gonna do anything with that ditch,
Mhm.
then eventually it will affect you. So that's why we look to the future, we don't look just to today. Any other comments? Do the petitioners have anything they'd like to add? Okay. That will conclude the public hearing portion of this. Commissioners now have to make their decision. We do have the opportunity, should we desire, to recess and reconsider at a later time. But I'll open it now for discussion amongst the commissioners.
All the proceedings are done by the Ohio Revised Code, so they're following along. And I hope we didn't make anything because we know somebody in the county, we know everybody in the county, so I don't understand the influence there of where we're being favorable to someone else. So I would move we proceed with the ditch, Lowe ditch, 1133, to the engineers to proceed with the assessment and completion of cleaning the ditch.
Do I have a second?
And based on everything that's been said by the commissioners and the fact that the cost estimate, the cost benefit analysis does favor the fact that putting this into place, I will second.
And I think in discussion,
Yes.
that the engineer's office can work with maybe property owners that don't want spraying, but they have to be maintained.
I know I've seen along state highways that there's do not spray signs, but I think the state highway abides by, and I'm sure that you guys would do the same. Work with the landowner to know where those areas should be. As Commissioner Stryker said, the cost, is not unduly high considering the benefit of the improvement. Improvement is necessary to maintain existing drainage in the future. And I think as long as there is a working solution to the spraying issue, it would be conducive to the public interest and welfare to maintain drainage. So is there any other discussion from the commissioners? Roll call, please.
Tim?
Yes.
Fred?